Welcome into your Game 1 Eastern Conference quarterfinals review. I'm a Boston Bruins fan, as you can tell by my jersey. And last night was a rough one. Leafs won 4-1. And the scoreline is one thing. It's another thing when you watch the game, you saw the attitudes of the players on the ice. And then you read a quote like this. Emily Benjamin, great follow. Give her a follow. Hockey reporter, she does a great job for the Bruins. Brad Marchand said, I think maybe we thought it was going to be a little bit easier than it was out there. Brad, you're in the playoffs. What the hell are you thinking? What was the score of Game 7 last year going into the third period, Brad? Oh yeah, and they added John Tavares last year, going into this year, and let's not take them seriously. Let's take it easy, because you can definitely win playoff games when you take it easy, and you thought you were just going to skate around and float out there and put the puck in the net. It just wasn't going to be like that, Brad. It wasn't. It never was supposed to. But I'm just going to get into the goals. I'm going to go over all the goals with you and give you my post-game thoughts. So we're going to get into the first goal here. It happened 9:31 into the first period on the power play. Clear stick in the face. I believe this one was Nylander. Yeah, it was Nylander. And beautiful fake shot by Marchand, passes it to Bergeron. As you see, empty cage. I could have hit that. And, that was going to be the highlight of the Bruins' night. We weren't going to get another one after this with the way we were playing. But for a brief second, I thought, what happens to this goal really sparks us, and we run the Leafs out of the building like we did last year. That didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Because about 7 minutes later, Mitch Marner, with another yawning cage goal. I could have scored that one. It'd be a shot from the point, I believe, by Jake Muzzin. Mitch Marner would tip it. It would hit off the post, the right post. So the post that Leafs player is near right there. Go all the way to the other side. Mitch Marner would collect the garbage and put it in. A little scuffle in front of the net there. And just a good goal. Big face-off win. Face-offs were going heavily towards the Leafs last night, too. They're pretty good down the middle statistically in the face-off circle, and they took advantage of that on this one. Props to them for getting the pressure on, putting traffic in front of the net, and getting a goal here. The next two goals aren't that fun to talk about for me. We're going to get into the second one, move to the second period, and this is Mitch Marner getting the fifth shorthanded penalty shot playoff goal ever. Yeah, the Bruins this year were tied for the most amount of shorthanded goals against, and that would be another thing that happened to us tonight, another shorthanded goal. If you watch my reviews, I did to game 60, and then I got a job, and I didn't have the time to do it, but it's playoffs, so you make the time. As you can see down there in the bottom left-hand corner, though, Jake DeBrusk would receive the puck, and he would try to receive it in between his legs, and Jake, you have feet. If you watch the replay again, Ron Hainsey's skate actually deflects the pass, because the pass was going to go tape to tape, but Hainsey's skate barely deflects it, so it's going in between Jake DeBrusk's legs. And instead of using his feet, which are already there, Jake DeBrusk tries to get a stick in between his legs. Makes it awkward. It goes behind him. He still has a stick out. And Mitch Marner sees this, and he jumps on it and takes it to the house. Jake DeBrusk chases him from behind and dives at his legs. Stick to the back of the leg, takes him out. Marner goes to the net. Penalty shot, and as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, he absolutely just undresses Tuukka Rask. Just very good patience, like Patrick Kane-esque type of patience here, and puts it past Tuukka, who was late on the poke check and really didn't have much of a chance. I'm wondering if Jake DeBrusk should have tripped him. I'm still wondering that to today. I'm wondering if Marner would have scored on that breakaway, or if he only scored or if he was going to get stopped on that. And I'm wondering if the shootout attempt made it easier for him because he had time to think and all that. But you never know, and you can't really think like that. But it's just a really it's sloppy turnovers like that. It's always at the blue line by the forwards with this team when it comes to shorthanded goals against. And it's unbelievable how many times David Pastrnak's freaking terrible with this. He shouldn't be at the point on the power play, man. He should be down low or on the wing. But having him at the point, he's a liability with how many turnovers he had. Tough to watch sometimes. It's just they always take it in at the blue line towards the middle, and it's the reason they got caught, and forwards just jump on it, and next thing you know, they're going house on us. And and then the next goal, this is you go to Nylander, which was very late in this period. You thought maybe if we could take it 2-1 to the third, there'd be a chance. I'm gonna move my picture in a little, but I was thinking okay, if we go to the third 2-1, that's not bad. But then Nylander gets a hookup pass from Kadri here. And as you can see Marcus Johansson's almost at the center dot of the ice. And he's covering for Matt Grzelcyk. As you can see, all 5 Bruins in the picture. And Nylander's just streaking, man. There's no one covering him. It's like in football when you throw the ball over the top and the safety just isn't there. Marcus Johansson was covering for Grzelcyk. He was supposed to be the safety there, but he goes middle for some reason because he has no defensive instinct probably. He's a forward. And then it's tossed over to Nylander on the right wing. Nylander takes it in, and he goes 5-hole on Rask. Another breakaway on Rask. So if you're counting, that's 3 goals against Rask. One where he had no chance because of a wicked tip off the post that went to the other side. A penalty shot, and a breakaway. Way to leave him out to dry. I don't think the Bruins had 1 breakaway opportunity last night. And the Leafs have like 7, 6. And Tuukka Rask made big saves too. He made some on Tavares tonight. And oh my God. It was just a terrible, lazy performance. Like, just mistakes, man. They were really brutal. Move to Tavares highlights. Typical. Empty netter to put the Leafs up 4-1 with 1:20 left. The game didn't feel like we were going to win. If you were watching that third period, they were getting chances, but it just didn't feel like anything was going to go in for them. It just didn't feel like their night. And going back to the Marner goal, that Jake DeBrusk mistake right there, it felt like all the air came out of the bubble. Like when you see stuff like that happen, it was all Jake DeBrusk's fault there that happened. Even though Ron Hainsey deflected the pass. But I go back to that. That's where it felt like this is not going to be our night. Early second night, I was thinking that. Post-game thoughts. Cassidy isn't blaming Rask. As I said, I'm not either, man. You put up 1 goal and you're that sloppy with the puck. And I think the Leafs have more turnovers or giveaways. But I don't think NHL actually tracks that stat. I think that's bullshit the way they track it. Sorry to swear there. I'm just not that happy with it. I am putting in that Kadri slew foot. It is a slew foot. You're not going to get a suspension for that because you can't clearly prove it's a slew foot because he starts the contact with the shoulder, but he definitely drives that leg behind DeBrusk's legs. It's a dirty play, and you can admit it either way. I'm not saying Kadri should be suspended for it. Penalty on the play, sure, would have changed the result of this game. I don't really think so. I don't really think so. I don't think the Bruins are going to get anything under them. I mean, you can argue like the power play goal, Pat, it would change momentum. Well, got the power play goal to begin with, and we still sucked after that, so I don't really think it was going to change momentum there. Just really, really sloppy. You can't blame Rask. Char looked terrible. The bigger defenseman, like Carlo, I didn't think looked that good. I think Carlo was the only defenseman who wasn't a minus, so odd. I know Bergeron's line with Marshall, I'm pretty sure they were all -2 on the night. They look bad. They got the power play goal, which might as well consider that a gift. Kuhlman isn't a top 6 forward. That's been known, though. He played good. Played over his head, I think. I think Marcus Johansson, even though he messed up earlier, that has nothing to do with his offensive abilities. I think it should be leave the first line together one more game. One more game. Give them another game. Because if you watch my videos at all, you know I haven't been a big fan of stacking the first line and leaving Krejci out to dry. Because he has a young DeBrusk, DeBrusk is great, but he's inconsistent sometimes. You then have a rookie who's playing his first NHL year. I think he's played less than 30 games in his entire NHL career in your top 6, who's very unproven. Put Marcus Johansson in that top 6 with Krejci and DeBrusk. See how that goes. If you want to keep Kuhlman in there, leave him on the third line with Coyle and Heinen. That should be a decent third line, in my opinion. Fourth line, you really need Kuraly back. Kuraly is a spark plug in the lineup. He brings a lot of energy. He plays good. Then you take Joakim Nordstrom out. You want to put David Backes in just to bring in that physicality and play Bruins-style hockey. That's fine with me, too. I don't mind that at all. If you want to be more physical, that might be a way to go here. But I don't think David Backes is really going to push the needle if you're begging for him to be in the lineup. He just isn't. One thing I will say, another post-game thought that you really have to take into consideration. If you watch the Bruins this year, every time they've taken a really bad loss, they come back and play very good the next game. I'm pretty sure if you look at bad losses, they're usually followed by wins. First game of the season, 7-0 Capitals. Second game of the season, 4-1 against the Sabres. We lost 7-0 to the Capitals. Absolutely embarrassed. Worst game of the year. Can't be topped. It can't be topped for worst game of the year. And then the second game, which I believe was the next night, we beat Buffalo 4-1 in convincing fashion. And Buffalo went on a streak right after that. So if I'm a Bruins fan, I'm cautiously pessimistic. But I mean, it was a really bad game, but at the same time, you've seen this team come back from bad games and perform the next night. So I wouldn't be too worried in that aspect. If I'm a Leafs fan, you should be very confident because you didn't win this is probably the first time you've won a game 1 in years. And you guys looked very good last night. But I don't think that's how most of the games this series are going to go. I don't. I think they're going to be a lot tighter, a lot more competitive. I expect the Bruins to win game 2, and I know that might sound a little overconfident, but I've just seen this team play bad and then come back the next game and just play extremely good. You won't see the first line look that bad that often. That's one of their worst games of the season. Really, though, third line was the only line that looked good. Defense overall, not that great. Torrey Krug looked pretty threatening, but he couldn't get on the score sheet, kind of like the third line. Coyle hit a few posts. You really got to watch Mitch Marner, though, man. And by watch him, I mean defend him. Oh, my God. That guy he goes off against us. I really think he might be the Leafs' best player. I'm not disrespecting Matthews when I say that. I'm not trying to disrespect Tavares when I say that, or anyone else you think is the best player. But every time I watch the Leafs, Mitch Marner is the most dynamic player on the ice. He is the most important player to take out of this series. And I think you got to match up Bergeron's line against him the rest of the series. And, if you can defend him, great. If you can't, at least limit him, because that man has been the danger man for the Leafs. Last year when we went to 7 games, and so far he has 2 goals in the first game. So, I mean, yeah, not a good look. Anyway, that's all I have on the thoughts for the game. And that's really all there is to talk about. Is the Bruins are sloppy. The Leafs capitalized on the mistakes. The Leafs won 4-1. Impressive win by the Leafs. Bad game by the Bruins. I don't think this is going to be how the rest of the series goes. It's not a good start for the Bruins. You don't win series often when losing the first game. But I will say in 2011 when we won the Stanley Cup, we lost game 1 of round 1 against the Canadiens. That one went 7 games and we won in overtime of game 7. So stay optimistic. Be a little pessimistic, but don't count the Bruins out yet. You're stupid if you count the Bruins out yet. You should know better if you count the Bruins out yet. I'm upset, but I know there's still a lot of hockey to be played. You play. The Leafs have 1 win. They need 4. Come on. It's just it's not a good look. That's all I can say. Thank you for watching my video. If you've got to this point, hit the thumbs up button if you like it. Show the channel some support. Subscribe if you like my coverage. Leave a comment on your thoughts on the Bruins, the Leafs, the series, anything in the NHL playoffs, really. I talk all hockey. Follow me on Twitter if you feel like it. I don't really care if you do, but if you do, great. And I'll see you for the Game 2 review. I'm actually going to Game 2, by the way. I should have mentioned that earlier. So that review will probably be coming out Sunday. I'm amped for that, and they better win. Bruins are actually on a 2-game losing streak when I'm in attendance in the playoffs. Game 6 against Ottawa, where we got eliminated 2 years ago. And last year I actually went to Toronto, drove 9 hours to go to Game 3, and they lost. But so hopefully they break that streak, and they get a win on Saturday. Go Bruins, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.